Hi everyone, welcome to another Fandom Feels Book Club. Tonight we are discussing Lauren Oliver's Vanishing Girls, which is a YA mystery thriller by a very cool author who also wrote the Delirium trilogy and Panic and Before I Fall, among others. And so we're really looking forward to talking about this book because we love Lauren Oliver here. We've had a lot of chances to actually speak with her, to interview her, and she's just a seriously cool person and a really great author that we enjoy. So talking about this book is going to be a lot of fun. If you have things that you want to say about it, you should be following along on Twitter with the hashtag FandomFeels. We'll read all of your comments. We'll shout out to anyone who makes some good points in there, so let that be your goal. All right, so first off, I am here with our usual host.
Are you here?
I am here.
Okay.
I'm Kate. I'm here with Nat. Hi, Nat.
Hello.
And Ellie.
Hi. And Dobby.
Dobby. Dobby is our official mascot of the Fandom Feels Book Club. So, alright, let's talk about this book and where you started, what you were expecting. Go ahead.
I wasn't sure what I was expecting. I mean, I love Laura. She's such a sweet lady. But I am conflicted when it comes to her books. So, I wasn't sure what to expect, actually. I knew that it was about two sisters, and that was pretty much it. I didn't even realize that it was like a mystery. I didn't know what kind of conflicts. And so it was kind of like, I don't know, it was a nice surprise, I guess.
What about you, Ellie?
So I love all of Lauren Oliver's books, so I was expecting wonderful things, and this is probably now my favorite of her books, so I think I got those wonderful things. I was not expecting this, I guess. I mean, like, we'll get more into exactly what happens later, but I definitely was not expecting the book to go the way it ended up going.
Yeah, I think I was kind of in the same boat. You know it's a mystery. You know something's going to happen. You don't really know exactly what. So you're always looking out for it, and you kind of figure it could be one of a million things, and it turns out to be one of a million things. But you weren't, but you weren't sure which until it kind of hit you. That being said, real quick, if you have not read this book yet, we love you. Go away. Because this is a book that's
we will ruin everything.
Yeah, it's based around the element of surprise, and we are absolutely going to obliterate that. So if you want to be surprised, you need to not be here, and you should be if you're reading this book, because that's what makes it a good experience. And going back to what Nat said earlier, I am kind of on the same page, I think, with Lauren's books. I like them all, but at different levels. Like, it was hard for me with Panic, because I don't know what it was. There was just something with Panic that didn't quite resonate with me. It's not that it was a bad book, but it just something was kind of missing. So I did read her adult novel, Rooms, and I think out of the three of us, I'm the only one who read that, and I really enjoyed that. So that kind of renewed something for me. And then this book, I'm with Ellie, where it might be my favorite by her, or second favorite, because the original Delirium, I think, still takes the cake.
Maybe.
I do. I think Delirium is still, yeah, my favorite from Laura Oliver. This kind of actually probably ties with Before I Fall, I think, as far as like my favorites of Lauren. Um, but I think I like the ending here more. For obvious reasons, if you haven't read Before I Fall.
Because Kent Fuller, Mick Fuller, Kent Mick Fuller. That's why. It's okay. We all know.
Kent Mick Fuller. Anyways, that's not a character in this book.
No. So getting back to Vanishing Girls, let's talk about the characters that are actually in there. This story is about two sisters. We have Nick and we have Dara, and they were in a really brutal car accident in the early spring, late winter time period. I believe in the book it happens in early March. I didn't write down the exact time period, so if I got that wrong, oops, but it's somewhere around there. And in that accident, Dara is gruesomely scarred. She has a lot of issues regarding her health, regarding her, her bones and such of that nature. And Nick is fine, but Nick was the one who was driving, so she's dealing with a lot of guilt. They're not very close. They're kind of avoiding each other at all costs. And
yeah, they're basically estranged at this point.
Yeah, even though they've started living in the same house again, because can we just? I didn't write this in our notes, but I just want to throw this in with their parents, where it was a really interesting combination of, like, the parents were also avoiding them, which is really the only way the story can be allowed to play out, with the parents who are dealing with these issues so badly that they themselves are kind of ignoring all situations around them.
Well, I think, I don't know if it's ignoring, but more avoiding the whole,
the accident.
Post-accident, state. And because, I mean, more or less they still want to be in contact, but they do it in different ways, mom, and then of course them being, having just divorced, the parents just divorced, mom taking care of the daughters, and then like the father just kind of like being there every once in a while, having dinner and whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot of avoidance. I don't know if it's like a denial thing of what's the problems that are going on, especially with Nick, but I think it's more, like that instead of ignoring. I understand, Davi, but I'm trying to explain something here.
Okay. So moving on to that, we're getting this through Nick's point of view, through Dara's point of view, through Dara's diary entries, and I believe those are the primary three. I don't know if we have any other ways, but I think those are really the three.
Doesn't Nick also write in a journal or something like that? Because
no.
I thought
Nick has like the before and after. I don't think she writes it though.
So we get her memories, and we get Dara's journal entries.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Her memories of Dara's.
And before we get to the big shebang, which character did you empathize with more?
Nick, 100%.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Nick, because, knowing that, I don't know if that had to do anything to do with it, but I think so. Like Nick being the older one, the oldest, I empathize with that because I am the oldest of two other sisters, and a lot of the thoughts that she said about her younger sister being the prettier one and all that stuff, I very much empathize with that. I mean, Dara had her own way of interpreting who Nick was, and she had a misunderstanding. I mean, they both like kind of probably misunderstood each other at some points, but more or less, I definitely empathize with Nick.
All right. So
I don't think it has to, I mean, for you it might have to do with being the older sister. Like, I'm the baby in my family.
yeah, I am too.
But, yeah,
I also-
100% Nick. Just because, like, I mean, I'm a book nerd. I sit at home and I hang out on my computer and read books. And Nick was the one that was more, like, shy, I guess. Less outgoing, for sure. Whereas Dara was kind of like...
Miss Party Girl?
Yeah, basically. I was not a huge Dara fan.
All right. So let's just we kind of have to drop the plot twist here if we're going to go any further. So really, if you haven't read this book and you haven't gone away yet, go away.
Go away.
We love you.
Unless you actually want to be spoiled by it, but whatever.
No, you don't.
All right, here it comes.
Not an option.
Of course, as the book goes on, you realize from probably at least midway through that something's not quite right. There's this plausibility factor that these girls live in the same house and literally never ever bump into each other once. There's, really erratic behavior from Nick. Dara goes missing, but nobody else seems to be quite so concerned about it, or really concerned at all. And then, of course, we realize that going back to that car accident in March, Dara actually died in the car, and that it has been Nick who has essentially had a psychotic break, and part of the time believes that she is Dara, and is kind of embodying what she thinks her sister is when interacting with people, and going back and forth between these two perceptions. The only thing that's actually genuinely Dara's are the old diary entries, which we only see, I want to say, maybe half a dozen. It might have been more, but not too many more. So pretty much all of this the whole time is Nick. So knowing that, do you think that the Dara that we're seeing in the book, that we learn about through Nick's point of view, is the real Dara?
I said this before, and I think we talked about it before, but you know how people tend to, or you sometimes don't know, or other people know you better than you know yourself sometimes, and I think in this case that might be the case, where Nick does know her sister a lot more than Dara might know herself. So in a sense, I would say that this is Dara, but maybe a slightly, I don't know, more sympathetic Dara, I guess, because there's the point where Dara's done some stuff that is not something that you want to, you're proud of, and Nick doesn't really address that issue, only through, I think, or actually, I don't think she does.
No, she really doesn't.
Yeah.
If you're talking about like the club and what she's doing there and pretending that she's 18.
Yeah. So basically, at that point, she goes back to herself. It's like she's not accepting the fact that her sister did that stuff. So I would say that she's playing a more, I guess, a better Dara than Dara might have been.
It's one of those situations where it's hard to tell, because in certain elements I think you're right, but then there's certain things, like I feel like Nick makes Dara come across as if she's at times like
she's spoiled or
just the brattiest person in the entire world, which you can be wild and you can be this and you can be that, and she makes her seem like perhaps she's a little slutty too. But you also know that she's extremely jealous of her. that she probably doesn't see any self-confidence that Dara has as a good thing. So who knows if it's actually what she was really like. I think for the most part she was pretty spot on, because even in her diary entries, Dara does come across as if she's just a spoiled, selfish little brat. But as
yeah, I mean, because prior to,
I think it's going to be skewed by the fact that like Nick is jealous of her relationship with Parker, and you know how easily she gets along with people, and her really close friendship with Ariana. So
yeah, I think she was pretty much spot on. That's what I said. I mean, there were times when I think it's because of the diary she was able to kind of grasp the other side of that she probably didn't know about Dara until then, and kind of like meld Dara into her own imagination or her own.
Okay, so here's the thing.
What's the thing?
I mean, so first of all, there's no way to know because number one, Dara's not there. Number two, she wasn't even. I don't want to say trying because she wasn't actually like trying to do any of this, but for argument's sake, let's say she was trying to be Dara. She was trying to be a deformed post-accident version of Dara, which in reality there was no such thing. So she was never the Dara that she was before the accident at all. And we don't know what this Dara would have been like had she really existed. Like, she might have, and like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so Nick was basically taking what she knows about her sister, which is a lot. Like, they were very close before the accident. She knows her sister very well. But she was taking what she knew about her and trying to guess what she would have been like had she been, like, basically deformed in the accident. And it could have gone that way, but it could have also gone a completely different way. So I don't know. I think that it was she probably got as close to Dara as anybody would have been able to, but there's no way to know at all what she would have been like had this really happened. I don't know what I'm saying. No, I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, I actually think that was like straight up philosophical. So there you go.
Thanks.
All right. So this storyline, I don't think it's like often used, but it's not completely unheard of. And in some cases, it's one of those things where it just becomes like, oh, I knew this was coming, so big. But this book wasn't like that, for me at least, at all. So why did this work for you?
You mean the plot twist?
Yes.
Because Lauren Oliver was so careful with every single scene. Like, once I finished, I think I spent a good half hour to an hour going back through the book and trying to find all of these things I remembered that I was positive went against Dara being dead the whole time, and they didn't at all. It was like she was just so careful that everything she said, like, led you to believe she meant one thing when she actually meant something else. Like, I actually wrote a list of everything that was purposely put there to throw us off. For example, her dad saying, like, I can't get in touch with either of them. And you assume he's talking about Nick and Dara, but he's actually talking about Nick and her aunt. Mm-hmm. Or when Ariana was saying, like, I have a bunch of stuff for you, but, like, you automatically read it as, like, I have a bunch of your stuff.
Yeah.
Things like that, where it's just like, oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Okay. So,
Sorry, okay.
no, I totally agree. And I want to keep going on this because she was so careful. So at what point in the story did you realize what might actually be happening?
For me, very, very late. Like, basically a second before Nick figured it out.
Wow.
Like,
It was so bad. Like, she's sitting in the police station, and I'm like, why does he not care? What is going on? Why doesn't he care that her sister is missing? Yeah. That's when I started to be like, something's not right. But, yeah, late.
What about for you, Nat?
I can't remember what I said, but I know it was like a little over halfway through. Started getting these ideas like, well, why was her knee hurting? You know, like Nick, they were saying that Nick, was fine, but then she talks about her knee giving her problems, and then when you hear about when she does Dara, Dara's the one that has the knee problem or the ankle problem and stuff. And I was like,
I never picked up on that one.
And then I think also at the point when she went to that club or that bar or whatever, something just wasn't right, and I was like, and I didn't want to go back yet and find out if that theory was right. I just kind of like wanted to read more, and I think after like 10 pages in, and I messaged Ellie, and I'm like, I think I figured out something. It was like, I was like, I think I figured out something, but I'm not sure yet. Let me just finish what I read, and then, then it came, it became more and more clear as you read on that there was something wrong, and it was just kind of a big revelation.
I think
kind of, but not really. No, I'm just kidding. It was a huge revelation.
I think the moment for me was when she called Parker in a panic as her phone was dying to tell him that Dara was missing, and he keeps trying to basically ask her where she is, trying to figure out what's going on because he's realized that she's having some sort of psychotic break, but she's so focused on the fact that Dara is missing that she refuses to even answer his questions. And I'm like, if Dara was genuinely missing, he would be concerned. And he's not really concerned about that. He's only concerned about...
No, he's only concerned about the fact that she's driving. He's like, you're driving?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, where are you,
right, yeah.
That was really interesting.
I think that's where I started to really pick up on it, too. I'm like, okay, she has issues. What is happening?
Yeah. It was
By the way, that list I talked about, so the things that were purposely put in to throw us off is the third part of my list. The first part is things that I noticed that should have given the whole thing away, but didn't. And then the second part is things I should have noted, I should have picked up on, but didn't.
Well, I really think that what worked for this book didn't work for me in another book of hers, and it was the going back and forth, doing the flashbacks and stuff. But I think that definitely helped to kind of like veil, keep that under wraps.
Well, yeah, because like you feel like you're getting both the present and the past from both characters, and not realizing that all you're seeing of Dara's past is the diary entries. Yeah. Crazy. Genius. Genius.
So I didn't actually mind all that when I normally would, as far as flashbacks and stuff were concerned.
Well, it was really necessary in this one because half of what you're trying to figure out is like what happened with this accident that made the sisters estranged. Oh.
Yep.
All right. So looking back, knowing now full well what happened, what plot point is the most devastating, like, leading up to that moment, knowing full well that Dara has been dead this whole time?
That dinner scene.
Yes. That was so hard.
Dara's not coming.
And her mother flips out, and you think, and that's another one of those meant to throw you off moments where her mother says, I thought it would be so nice for the four of us. And
right.
Of course you totally, again, as in the moment that you brought up with the I can't get in touch with either of them, completely just discounting the aunt, which, I'm sorry, poor aunt whose name I don't even remember, but you're thinking of this, like, nuclear family, and you're not thinking of the aunt over on the side. So when she's speaking of the four of them, Dar isn't included in that number.
Right.
Well, it doesn't help that the aunt's like, the way she is, all new agey like, and she's like, oh, well, she's just saying Dar's not coming yet. And I'm like, you're not helping. She wasn't helping the situation at that point. But that was her way of helping, and I guess it kind of did help her eventually.
Any
You
other
know what
one?
I'm talking about, right?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the aunt kind of speaks throughout the book as if she understands the spirit of Dara and has communicated with her. So it makes it seem like she's actually, you don't assume that she's being hippy-dippy, and so you think that she's actually talking to Dara.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I talk to her every day.
To Nick.
Yeah. The kiss. When she freaks out saying, you called me my sister's name. Oh my gosh.
And it's funny because at that moment I still wasn't aware of what was going on. And
right.
I was like, hell yes, he called you your sister's name because he wants her, bitch.
Right, exactly. And then when he's like, what? No, that's messed up. Like, yes, that would have been very messed up.
If he actually had called her sister's name.
Exactly.
But that wasn't the case. No, and it was nice to know that he wasn't the jerk that we thought he was in the beginning.
Well, so I totally thought he was just, like, really drunk and thought she was Nick.
Because they're not twins, but they do have some resemblance.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. That part when she puts on makeup and she looks in her rearview mirror before she goes into the club, and she's like, you know what? I kind of do look like my sister. And that kind of gave, like,
yeah.
Wait a minute. What? So I think that's kind of where I started thinking about that situation.
Again, I have a whole list of things that I like.
I saw. I just tweeted out Ellie's list of things that we probably should have caught. I put a note on it that it's very spoilery, so hopefully who hasn't read the books will leave it alone. But if you're with us at this point, check out that list because it's really intricate and it would take us forever to get through everything because there's about a million things that, in retrospect, hindsight is 20/20, and we all can see that we should have caught this, but we totally didn't. All right.
I'm so mad at myself.
You don't have to be mad at yourself because.
No, I know. I'm more just loving Lauren Oliver with this book.
All right. And then we've got this whole, like, subplot interwoven with Madeline Snow. who went missing prior to Dara's disappearance, which actually helps give some validity to the idea that Dara actually is missing, because there's a 11-year-old girl who has genuinely not been seen, 10 or 11, I can't remember, has not been seen in a couple weeks, I think, by the end of the story. And so did you guys like that and how it all kind of tied back to Dara's seedy employment and how Madeline's sister, Sarah, was also working at Beamer's, which was the sketchy-ass club/bar?
Being that it's a mystery, yeah, I guess it works, but I almost felt like it's kind of like a red herring. But yeah, the tie, and it. I mean, there has to be some kind of connection for Nick to find Dara. And so for it kind of worked. The part that was somewhat not my favorite was when they found out that Madeline was hiding in the theme park, which I had guessed when she said that she heard some kind of singing or humming when she was doing her night shift that one night, the first night that she did her night shift. She said she heard some kind of humming. I was like, Madeline's over there. But she didn't. Obviously, she didn't get that because she was, scared as one would be of ghosts, like I am.
Yeah. If I heard singing or humming in a dark alley, I am absolutely running in the other direction.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, that one was less surprising to me than the big twist.
I mean, it was less surprising, but actually for me, I agree with Nat that it was kind of like a huh moment, because how does a child live in a theme park for weeks without anybody realizing that she was there?
Yeah.
Like, I realize the staff is a bunch of teenage hooligans, but eventually someone's gonna see this kid running around and be like, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be here after dark. Like, just maybe.
Well, didn't she think she saw her at one point?
Well, there's a couple situations that hint at it, where she hears, like, the garbage cans rustling around or something like that, and she thinks it's raccoons, so she gets out of there. Or she, like Nat said, she hears the singing. She thinks she hears singing, but then it stops when she looks. But she never actually physically sees her.
I think she does mention that, though. They were in the water. She was in the kiddie pool.
Yeah, she thought she saw her at the pool.
They dropped her in the pool, and then she said that she swore she saw Madeline, but then when she grabbed a girl, it wasn't Madeline, so she was thinking she was losing her mind.
Mm-hmm.
Which so, she was, maybe she did, but not for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, that was a different losing mind.
Yeah.
But
isn't it kind of great that the thing you thought she was losing her mind over, she wasn't, and the thing you thought that she was being somewhat rational over, she totally wasn't?
I did like that she actually worked at that theme park, though, that water park. I liked the idea that she was able to kind of have some normalcy as Nick when she was performing as a mermaid and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, she has this other personality. You're like, what?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting how nobody... Well, you can't really put two together, but I thought of when she confronts Dara's best friend, and, she apologizes, but still isn't really willing to talk to her that much, and you kind of think, before you realize you're like, wow, this is an awful friend, which is a running theme in Lauren Oliver books. There is no such thing as a decent friend that you can trust. So I thought, oh, here's the Lauren Oliver special.
All female friends are terrible in Lauren Oliver's books.
Yes, there is no such thing as a good friend in these novels. But in this case, it's kind of funny because even though they were both selfish little brats, her friend was actually a pretty good friend in the end, and the person that she couldn't face after the fact was her sister.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sad to see when you go back, you know, obviously we all went back. When you go back to that scene, you're like, oh, Ariana was actually, you know,
she was being really nice.
Yeah.
She couldn't face the sister, you know. She was thinking, you know, and it's weird how everybody has that phase of guilt. Even though they might not be directly involved, they still have this guilt in them about what happened in that situation.
Because I think Ariana knows what happened, why Nick was there that night with Dara, and she knew what Dara was doing all along, and maybe, I don't think she encouraged it, but she didn't do anything to stop it either. So it's all the ways that you kind of psych yourself out.
Yeah. And blame yourself for what could have been prevented.
Yes.
So, yeah.
All right. And now let's talk about Parker, because this conversation...
I was about to say, I just feel so bad for Parker.
We've just totally been missing Parker in this whole damn thing. Parker grew up with Nick and Dara, and he's known both of them his entire life. He dated Dara prior to the accident, but him and Nick have always been a thing, and when Nick loses it, Parker gets, I'd say, like 70% of the fallout from that. Falls on that poor kid. So, did you guys like this character? Did you love him? What did you think of him?
I totally liked this character, and at the same time, you know, I think I understood where he was coming from as far as like being confused. I mean, he's a teenage boy. You know, when you get a girl that's just like throwing herself at you, you're like, okay, sure, you know. But then when you realize that you really wanted somebody else, you know, you kind of, anybody goes through that confusion and that, you know, that division that they don't know what to do and stuff. And then when he finally realizes what he wants, and, you know, it's kind of like at that point where it's too late, but you know, because of the accident, I should say. And,
you realized right before the accident.
It's kind of messed up. And but I liked him. I liked that he was, you know, he was best friends with them, and you know, and there was one point, and you all know which one there, where you almost want to just strangle him, and as of course the part when he texts Dara, texts Dara.
Which in hindsight, oh my God.
It's just more. It's very bittersweet.
Yeah.
You know? But then when you realize what it truly is, you're just like, yeah, okay, he's the person that I thought he was. A good guy.
And again, it has a lot to do with not knowing what's going on, but there were a lot of points where I'm like, I might hate this guy, but
yes!
I'm not quite sure I might. But then I don't.
Right.
Actually, I'm not sure if I'm totally sympathetic to him, because he did kind of let his hormones rule the day in a way that made things really disastrous. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess
that's why I said he's a teenage boy. I'm like,
do that. I get that, but it's like,
it still sucks.
You know,
Yeah.
I forgive him enough. But
yeah,
I think he handled things pretty admirably, and I'm surprised that he didn't kind of have some suspicions earlier, or maybe he did and it's just not that obvious. But
yeah, that made me wonder if he actually had. I was wondering if he knew what was going on with her when she called him.
I think the phone call is when he, like, in a panic, is when he actually realized.
Yeah. I was just, I like, for a second I was wondering, does anybody know what's going on with her? And then I realized, no, nobody does. Nobody knows that she's embodying two people. So, yeah.
Wait, hang on. I didn't answer yet. And we're getting off topic. Okay, so Parker. Yeah, similar to what you two said. I remember, like, I'm pretty sure I actually, like, tweeted several times while reading this, being like, I want to like this guy, but I don't know if I do. 'Cause, like, I love Parker with Nick, but I was really mad at him for ever being with Dara. But, like you were both kind of saying, more you, Kate, he, like, it was clear he always had feelings for Nick, but Dara was the one that was kind of there and willing and obvious about how she felt. So I feel like it was one of those, like, it just kind of happened things, and he felt like, well, I just ruined my chance with Nick, so I might as well stick it out with Dara. And then, that poor kid, like, the guilt he had to be feeling because what happened was right after she was heartbroken over him, and then he loses one of his best friends, and the other one leaves and doesn't talk to anybody for a while. And, that poor kid. And then, yes, that text net where I was so mad at him. I was so mad at him, and then it ended up just hurting so much. But in the end, I did like Parker. A little bit of a rough road to get there, but I did like him in the end.
Yeah, I agree. Do you guys think that there is actually any sort of hope for Nick and Dara? For Nick and Parker.
Yes.
You know me. You know me. I'm like, yes, of course I'm going to be all optimistic and say yes. There is.
Totally.
I'm going to be realistic and say probably not. I mean, I want to have that hopeful, like, she'll, as she gets better, they'll connect more and maybe start, seeing each other more often, yada, yada, yada. But who really knows? Because didn't he ran off to school in, I believe, New York City in the end?
Who cares?
I'm saying it doesn't mean that there has to be something now. But because they've been such lifelong friends, I can see it happening even, like, later on down the line.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nick needs to kind of take care of herself first. But
and he needs to go to school.
I read this book, like, the day it came out, which was a little while ago now. How did it end in the epilogue?
It ends like that. Like,
they're emailing
friends.
back and forth.
And I think they go to the...
Right, but they, like, meet up.
I think he comes home for Thanksgiving.
And he gives her a signal that he wants to see her.
Yeah, he leaves.
They
used to leave, like, a red flag or a red scarf or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and she sees it from the tree. Oh. Sorry.
Ellie likes the fangirl.
I like relationship stuff in books. In case you haven't figured that out yet. But yeah, no. So it has a very hopeful feel at the end.
Yeah. It does. So maybe there is hope. Do we have any other thoughts before we move on to a game?
This book was wonderful.
It was a really good read. This is definitely, if you're going to read Lauren Oliver, I think this is a good place to start, unless you're looking for a series, in which case, go with Delirium.
But if you're watching this, you've already read it, because there's no way you should have stuck through this whole thing if you didn't.
Well, yes, but I'm saying in general, but
Yes.
for your friends, not for you. So, all right. Nat, anything?
If you haven't read any of her other books, I recommend Before I Fall
Mm-hmm.
as a one-off. If you want to do the trilogy thing, then yeah, Delirium is a really good one too.
And I really liked Panic. I might be in the minority there, but I love that book.
I always tell people to read it and judge for themselves because it's the only way you'll know.
I
Because there
love
have
that
been
book.
books that are not entirely popular that I have absolutely enjoyed. So it's cool. You like what you like. We're glad. All right. So game time.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we move on to game time, and as we do, it's going to be about books, but I've added another part to it, and so
Uh-oh.
we're going to play this game where you're going to guess, or you're going to answer, and this is more like a who can answer fastest thing. I'm going to say the name of a character from what book, and you're going to give me the name of the actor or actress that played that character.
I'm so bad at actors.
As fast as you can.
All right.
And
I'm bracing myself. Let's go.
I guess we're not allowed to use our computers.
No IMDb.
yeah, so I'm like, if Kate answers before you, then that's it. You just have to name him off. So if you end up looking it up on your IMDb and you end up coming up with the answer first before Kate, then you get the point.
Well, I'm not going to bring up IMDb. You can cheat if you want.
I know. Exactly. So I'll give you.
You can't see my hand moving at the bottom here.
No, it's okay. I'm kidding.
I'll give you some easy ones at first, okay? This should be easy to
Josh
begin.
Hutcherson. Sorry.
Katniss Everdeen.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Kate got that one. Faster. So yeah, that was one. Kate, point goes to you. Now, was it Jace Wayland?
Jamie Kimmel Bauer.
There you
Or
go.
Dominic Sherwood. I mean,
Oh.
From the movies.
that
We're not adding
you
TV
never
shows.
specified. You know.
I should have
I'll
said
let her
Jace
have
Wayland from
it.
the
I'll let her
Mortal
have it.
City of Bones. Would that have helped you? Mia Hall from If I Stay.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see. Jacob from Twilight.
Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner.
Wait. What did you say, Kate?
I said Taylor Lautner.
Did you? Okay.
I did. I'm sorry, Ellie. I still love you. That's why I let you have Jace Wayland.
I don't like you.
Thomas from The Maze Runner.
Dylan O'Brien.
Yep.
That's a name I should know, but I can never remember.
It's okay.
I don't like
And
this game.
Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief.
That's another one I should know, but I don't remember.
I'm giving you minutes.
Logan Lerman.
Logan Lerman.
Come on, Ellie.
I didn't get help there.
We preface this by saying that I write a lot of site content on movies, so I'm very familiar with the actors.
That's true.
And Ellie, you should know this. Okay, how about this one?
I'm slow.
Clary Frey from The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones.
Lily Collins. I have her autograph right there.
There you go. Mia Thermopolis from The Princess Diaries.
Anne Hathaway.
Yay!
That one should genuinely go before me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I don't like you, Kate.
You're my favorite.
Mm.
John Smith from I Am Number 4.
I never even saw that.
You don't need to. He's a very popular.
Yeah.
I did know he was it, though.
Yes, the actor.
That guy that everyone wants to put in every YA movie, and I really don't know why.
Just because he's hot.
Can we stop fan casting him, guys? I say that with a lot.
Well, he's too old now anyway, so it's okay.
What's his name?
Try.
Kate already said it.
I already did. I said it twice. Alex got it.
Never mind. Okay, let me put my volume up. Okay. This one's just recent. Radar from Paper Towns.
Justice Smith.
Oh, sorry, Ellie. Okay, I'll give you. How about this one then? Fred Weasley from Harry Potter.
Which one?
Fred Weasley.
I know. I can't remember which one. James? Is that James Phelps?
Okay, you got that one.
Okay.
Yes, it's James Phelps.
I said Phelps right away, but I'm like, which one? Okay.
I'll give you a kind of a somewhat hard one.
Oh, great.
Caspian from the Chronicles of Narnia.
Who?
Prince Caspian.
Oh,
Ben Barnes.
Yeah. Okay, got that one.
It's alright, I cheated anyway.
Here we go. This is a hard one. Maybe. Jess Aarons from Bridge to Terabithia.
Jess?
Josh Hutcherson.
There we go.
I didn't know if Jess was the boy or the girl.
That was a hard one?
Well, it seemed like it for one of you.
I mean, nothing Josh Hutcherson is hard. Come on.
Yeah, the girl, her name was, what was her name?
Sophia Robb.
Well, no, I meant the character.
Oh, I have no idea.
How about Jonas in The Giver?
Brenton Thwaites.
Yes. What's wrong, Ellie?
I don't like this game.
Actually, really close. I don't know.
Yes, because you're giving me half of them.
Okay. How about Christina from Divergent?
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah. Once Kate says them, I know that she's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the one where I should have called.
But that one I was like, Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Let's see if you guys get this one.
I'm
Mr.
crying.
Tumnus from...
Wait, I didn't hear you. What?
Mr. Tumnus from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh.
No.
Oh my god. He's really famous.
That's good.
I know nothing about Narnia.
Hang on. No, he's like really famous. I'm typing in a different movie. No, that's not what I wanted. Jim Sturgis? No. No. No, that's not him. Hang on.
He's in the movies.
Give me 2 seconds.
He's in the. He's now a superhero.
No, he's somebody else in this. He's been freaking X-Men.
Yeah. That's why I said he's now a superhero.
Is that who it is?
Yes, James McAvoy. Why could I not think of his name?
I don't know.
I just want to point out, I don't think you actually caught it, but about probably 30 to 40 seconds ago, I actually said, is it James McAvoy? I know he's in these movies.
I didn't hear it because I can't hear over Ellie's. Wait!
Sorry, I was just going on and 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 on.
Okay, how about this one? Lord Asriel from The Golden Compass.
Lord Asriel, is that, is it Daniel Craig?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know who that character is.
Really well.
I know, I haven't even watched the movie.
I saw that movie when it was in theaters, and I hadn't read the books, so I didn't remember much.
Well, the studio thought it was too controversial, so they essentially cut out the plot, which made for
That's what I've heard.
bad movie.
Okay, here's another one that should be easy. Easy peasy. Augustus Waters from The Fault in Our Stars.
Ansel Elgort!
Oh, yay!
I like him.
How about... This one is probably going to be hard. How about Jessica from Twilight?
Anna Kendrick.
Oh, duh.
It's not that hard.
Sorry, I do love it.
Well, Anna Kendrick's like really famous now. That would have been hard a while ago.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to make it not too hard. How about the White Witch from the Chronicles of Narnia? What did I pick that?
Isn't that Tillman?
Not quite.
Is it Kate Blanchett?
Nope.
No.
Or, oh, what's her name? I can picture her face. She's kind of androgynous. What is her name?
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah. Point
You
Ellie.
cheat. You cheat, Ellie.
You said I could cheat.
We love it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I even asked, and I was told it was okay.
How about Patrick in The Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Ezra Miller.
Yeah. That is it.
So we've got
And
time for
one more, right?
Yeah, we can do one more.
Okay. One more. Let me make it a good one. Christian Ozera from the Vampire Academy.
I don't know that character or the movie.
It's Dominic Sherwood, who, a.k.a. Jace Wayland. That's how he chose it. Jace Wayland's second edition.
Jace Wayland, second edition. Jace Wayland 2.0.
Yeah.
So, should I count how many each of you got?
Pete wins! Yay!
Okay, that'll be it for today. And what are we doing next month?
Next month, we will be talking about Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, which is this really fun fantasy book that harkens back a lot to the 80s. But if you're not an 80s buff or you weren't born in the 80s and you didn't live through the 80s, don't worry about it. It's not going to be so referential that you can't understand it. And the book is just so much fun. You're really going to love it. So we're going to be talking about that on Monday, September 21st. And that's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And same as always, you can follow along with the hashtag Fandom Feels. So we hope to see you there. All right.
Yay!
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Bye!